If you would pray with me for just a moment, may the word of the Lord be preached, may the word of the Lord be heard, and may the word of the Lord be received. Amen. First of all, I'm Tom Bramlett. For those of you who I didn't shake your hand, nice to see you, and always a joy to have you at St. Luke's in Branchport. Love. Love. We have several words for love, but in the Greek language, there are eight words that specifically talk to love. Have any of you been married for a long time? Okay. There is actually a word for love that specifically talks to you if you've been married a long time. Do any of you have a really close friend that you've been friends with for years? They have a separate word for that kind of love. The kind of love of your best buddy or your best friend. Do any of you have this private place in your life where you go out into the country or up to a mountain or down by the lake or do something special? There's a separate word for that kind of love. But the word that Jesus uses in the Gospel of Luke is the word agape, or agape, depending on how you'd like to name it. Agape is the kind of love that is selfless, that is absolutely not self-centered, never looks for anything in return from the other person, and is absolutely and completely unconditional. Now we look at the world of Jesus' day. Israel had been conquered by Rome, all sorts of inner struggles between the government and the people. And Jesus says, you know what? You've got to love the other person. He never said, I checked it 3 times. He never said you have to like them, but you have to love them. The power of God to reach into our hearts and say, you need to change how you look at the world. You need to change how you look at the people. The gospel says your best buddy is really easy to love. Your spouse, on most days, is really easy to love. There are lots of things that are easy to do. Christ says, I call you to move beyond the comfort and to see the joy and the power, and I'm going to use the word freedom, of loving everyone. Now there is a great joy, if you've ever had an argument with anybody, there's a great joy of ending the argument thinking that you're right, that you just put them in their place. And yet, all you've done is separate yourself from that person. You know, we go through life trying to protect ourselves from people who don't agree with us. We put up all sorts of barriers. We lock the door. We put the bars in the window. And we're going to protect ourselves, that we're never going to have that problem. And then slowly over the course of time, you realize you're not protecting yourself. You're not keeping others out. You have built a prison for yourself. You are the one that has become the prisoner of anger and frustration and resentment. God says, give all that up. Give that anger, give that frustration, give that difference away. The power of God is that He created all of us, even the ones we don't disagree with. The power of God to change our life. Now, you don't know me well, but I'll warn you right now, I'm a storyteller. And you know, you wonder why Christ gave this sermon to His people moving into the period of Lent where He's going to be sacrificed for death. Why did He say it now? So here's the story. My father and my brother and I were avid sailors. My mother loved the water, but we had to carry her on the boat, and she had to have 2 life vests on, because she would sit there, but she would not move. She wouldn't even go to the bathroom. She was stuck, because she was fearful of getting in the water. So we'd be going on the boat. My father would say to me, Tom, I want you to check the barometer, reset it. I want you to call the Coast Guard. I want you to get the wave height, wind direction, velocity. Mac, my brother, I want you to go down and check the engine, the oil, the gas, make sure the bilge pump's working. Then I want you to work on the rigging, make sure everything's perfect. So after like 8 or 9 years of this, we finally said to my father, Dad, really, we know how to sail with you. And he gave us that look that's like, huh? What are you talking about? He said, I know you can sail with me. I'm making you ready for when you're not going to be with you. And you're going to be by yourself. And you have to know what to do. Christ is giving us this message as we go into this time of sacrifice and introspection to say, look at those people you don't like. Look at those people you don't agree with. Look at those people who have different ideas. Look at those people who they're not your friends. Stop making that boundary. Christ says, reach out. Make a difference. Do something special. Love them. Love them. Hopefully, in the end, they can love you. But you have released yourself from the burden of the anger and the resentment and the fear. Treat others like you would like to be treated. Prepare your life for the people that follow you, that they know the journey. They know what to do.